Hey guys, Don here. Welcome to Podiatry Practice Mastery, trying to help you get your practice to the $1 million mark. I'm thankful today. I have quite a few people here on iTunes that are listening, and we've been kind of consistently adding people to the Practice Mastery Academy. I don't really want to take too much credit for this. I really think the credit goes to, I have some new virtual assistants that are helping me, and they're kind of keeping me away from messing around with it, and they're fixing the things that I've messed up. But today I want to talk a little bit about this concept of before, during, and after. And I'm going to talk about my three kind of highest leverage activities for patients before their visit, during their visit, and after their visit. I think many times we get too confused trying to do everything. And there are a few high leverage activities that I've found that work better to focus on in my own practice and help me produce greater amounts of revenue to get to that $1 million mark. Without seeing and killing yourself with tons of patients and things like that. So let's go into those. So the before means things that kind of attract patients to come into your practice. The during are the actual things that you do during your treatments, and then after are the things that they do afterwards. And we'll go over that if you're not sure. But let's go. So first of all, before, the number one thing that's really helping us right now is online reviews. So many patients, even if they get a list of podiatrists that their primary care gives them, they're going to Google those. And so whoever has the best online reviews and online presence, I think everyone's going to have an online presence, but what they really look at these days are reviews, and having those reviews, having a system of getting them. We have two different automated systems, and I think automation is key. You can request one at a time, but really automation works so much better. Our one is called Patient Education Genius. Every time I send out patient education information, it asks for a review. That's number one. And then number two, we use currently something called Swell. So Swell is something that will request online reviews after the encounter is closed within my medical record. It's an automated system. I am trying to work with them to see if once an appointment is made, if they could make a different trigger to send them out my new patient welcome packet or the new patient information. They haven't done that yet, but currently every patient that when they get done seeing us, usually at about 6 or 7 o'clock at night, they'll send them a review request versus right away when they leave, they'll send it a little bit after. So this is called reputation management. And we advised our staff to tell them they're going to be getting that, because a lot of people just kind of say stop and they don't give it. But if we tell them they're going to get that, they're usually more likely to do that. So that's number one, is having an online review. Number two, I guess, is website. We all have to have a website, and I'm not going to go too much into that. There's a lot of people that do great websites, but you have to have one that's gonna rank. You're putting in good content, and I think that's another thing, is having good content that's accessible to patients. I use it kind of as an extension of my practice, especially my patient education information that I put on there. I make it available to everyone. There are some docs that think you shouldn't give away the farm. I kind of give away the farm with everything, and meaning I teach everything on the website. So if you want to learn how I practice, how I do things, you just go to my website and you look in that section. You'll learn exactly how I do it. Because most patients, they can try that, but they still can't do it. There's certain magic that we do. It might be with shockwave or an ultrasound or something else that we do, or like a biomechanical exam. So that's before. And then the third thing is I'm not so good at, which is having a practice rep. This is something I would like to develop. I'm struggling a little bit with finding a rep. I like the idea. I don't have one. And the rep in general, what I would love to have is, I'm trying to figure out maybe if I can find a way to make a virtual rep, like having a rep be virtual, and instead of having someone going office to office. But that's something I would really like, and I'm not exactly sure how to pay them. That's another thing I struggle a little bit with, is how to pay these reps based on how much your production goes up, how many referrals they're bringing in, and things like that. So I think the rep is another thing that I would like to improve on. So if any of you guys are really good at having a great practice rep and how you do it, let me know, and how you kind of pay them. I think if I had like this rep, it really is going to go to everything that I think is the kind of the next step in our practice. Like if I could get a virtual rep, I'm thinking kind of using like a virtual assistant as a rep. They could do a lot of other things as well, and I'll go into a few more things like that. So that's the before. The during aspect is when I'm actually seeing my patients, the things that are highest leverage. So number one, I just keep repeating this. Sorry if I feel like a broken record, but if you're doing it, you agree with me, and if you're not doing it, you don't understand. So it's having a scribe is number one. It's freed me up. I can be much more present with patients. I earn much more revenue, only because I'm not distracted all the time and I can focus on being with the patient. So that's number one. If you don't have a scribe, you should get a scribe. Number two, treatment sheets. I use a combination of my PowerPoint presentations, but a lot of times if I'm kind of working through the day, I can just use the treatment sheet, which works a little bit easier. I use one that's in a prescription pad size, but I have a lot of single page sizes as well. If you want to see what they look like, you can go to patientpresentations.com, and in those presentations, in each presentation, there's a treatment sheet up top. You just click the link. It's a Google Doc, and you can kind of see what it looks like. But I use these just to kind of walk through the process of how I treat things for patients, and it kind of guides them. And also on those treatment sheets and the presentations, I can put in what I call the largest check items. So the items I want to focus on, for me, it's Swift, Shockwave, and orthotics. Those are like the three big things I like to focus on. I enjoy treating. I would do those all day long if I could. And so that's the third thing, is keeping your eye on the prize, so focusing on what is producing revenue in your practice. I have a little, I call it like a practice page. It's a one-page thing I do where I keep track each day of kind of what I'm producing, what's my most valuable patient, and things like that, so we can kind of keep your eye on the prize. And then after, the things after I find that most effective, number one is my newsletter. I have an email newsletter. I actually write it. Someone offered to write it. I might eventually have them do it if they could learn my voice and tell my stories. But patients, what they really like is learning about the family, learning about the stories of your family. You might share a little bit about some other things, but really they want to know personal stories, which is kind of a fun thing to write. Then you share a little bit. The way I focus on the newsletter is each month I have a different theme, and these themes tend to be these largest check things. So it's going to be on like shockwave or on heel pain or Achilles tendonitis or orthotics or things like that. Each theme for each month. So kind of the focus of the newsletter. I have a whole month on the same topic. That's after. Then the second after thing is and asking for reviews. So the reviews, that's an automated process, so it's not based on us anymore. That just works. And then another good thing afterwards is the patient education information that goes out. This is making sure they get more information about us, about their condition, not about us, but about their condition. This is all automated as well. I was thinking we could, if we had this virtual practice rep, they could actually help write the newsletter, and they could help perfect all of these systems, such as the review system, the follow-up, the automations, just a lot of other things, and also scheduling like different types of visits with doctors and calling to doctors and seeing, making friends with them, setting up appointments and things like that. Okay, anyway, those are the thoughts, what I call the top three before, during, and after. If you guys find this beneficial, let me know. If you want to learn more, go to Podiatry Practice Mastery. Once again, we have about 3 or 4 people signing up each month now. So it's a good number, all thanks to my virtual assistants. If you're interested in using a virtual assistant, you want to know who I use, let me know. Shoot me an email down at podiatrypracticemastery.com if you haven't gotten into this virtual assistant. It's pretty reasonable, usually $12 to $15 an hour, both for scribes and for virtual assistants. But I think it saves you a lot of time and it helps you leverage your time. Okay, thanks.